The movie opens with a dream-like sequence where Rachel envisions herself in a serene, natural setting, embracing motherhood in an idyllic and traditional sense. However, this dream sharply contrasts with her waking life, where New York City is a hub of artificiality and rigid technological control. The contrast is further accentuated by the film's muted color palette and minimalist set design, which emphasize the starkness of the futuristic world. Rachel wakes up in her ultra-modern apartment, where her AI personal assistant organizes her day with impeccable precision. Every task in her life is choreographed by technology, from her work schedule to her morning routine. She works for Pegasus, a powerful tech conglomerate, and it's immediately clear that in this society, AI governs almost every facet of human interaction. The tone here is one of both convenience and cold detachment, as the movie introduces the world's heavy reliance on artificial intelligence. In sharp contrast, Alvy, Rachel's husband, is shown working in his botanical lab, lovingly tending to rare living plants. Alvy, a botanist, represents a counterpoint to the film's tech-heavy world, cherishing nature in a time when it's largely artificial or synthetic. His workspace, bathed in warm, earthy tones, contrasts with the sterile environments surrounding Rachel. This scene establishes Alvy's deep-seated values and his connection to the natural world, setting up the ideological conflict between him and Rachel. Rachel's career takes a significant turn when she is offered a promotion at Pegasus, along with an intriguing benefit: the opportunity to utilize the services of the Womb Center, a subsidiary of Pegasus. The Womb Center specializes in external wombs, or pods, that allow women to have children without undergoing traditional pregnancy. The news is presented with a sense of reverence and efficiency, but Rachel is visibly overwhelmed by the decision, as she has always dreamed of becoming a mother. This moment underscores the growing divide between human desires and corporate-driven technological solutions. Rachel shares the news with Alvy, excited about the possibility of having a child without sacrificing her career or enduring the physical toll of pregnancy. However, Alvy is immediately resistant. His disapproval is based on his love for natural processes and his aversion to corporate and technological control over human life. This scene highlights the couple's ideological rift. Alvy's resistance isn't just to the pod, it's to what the pod represents: a further erosion of the natural world in favor of sterile, commodified solutions. Despite Alvy's objections, Rachel enrolls in the Womb Center. This process is depicted in a sleek, sterile environment with minimal human interaction. The visuals here further emphasize the dehumanizing aspects of the technology. The pods resemble large metallic eggs, housed in a futuristic facility devoid of warmth. Rachel's choice to move forward alone reveals her deep internal conflict, caught between her personal desires and the societal pressures to conform to this new way of life. Rachel's pregnancy via the pod starts to change the dynamics of her relationship with Alvy. Initially, Alvy remains detached, struggling to connect with the artificial process. However, as the pod begins to develop their child, he gradually becomes more attached to it. There's a pivotal moment when Alvy takes the pod to work with him, cradling it like a child and treating it as if it were part of the natural world. His growing affection for the pod is juxtaposed against Rachel's increasing detachment. As the pregnancy progresses, Rachel begins experiencing vivid dreams about being pregnant in a traditional sense. These dreams haunt her and create a growing sense of unease. The dream sequences are shot in warm, organic hues, contrasting sharply with the cold, metallic tones of the pod. The cinematography during these moments is fluid and dreamlike, reinforcing Rachel's subconscious longing for a more natural experience of motherhood. At work, Rachel faces scorn from her colleagues for bringing the pod to the office, a reflection of the complex societal pressures and hypocrisies surrounding parenthood in this future world. Just as Rachel and Alvy are growing accustomed to their new path, the Womb Center alters the terms of its agreement. Faced with increasing demand, the Womb Center announces that it will accelerate the pregnancy timeline to 39 weeks, reducing the period the pod would remain with them. This decision pushes the couple into a moral quandary, as they feel the accelerated timeline could harm their child's development. The tension between corporate interests and personal well-being comes to a head, highlighting the film's critique of commodification in human life. In one of the film's most intense moments, Rachel and Alvy decide to take matters into their own hands. They covertly steal the pod from the Womb Center, knowing the facility will seek to retrieve it. This is a pivotal scene, filled with suspense as the couple navigates the complexities of escaping the all-seeing eyes of corporate technology. The cinematography shifts to darker tones and tighter frames, increasing the sense of urgency and paranoia. Rachel and Alvy retreat to Alvy's residence on Shell Island, far from the technological hub of New York. Here, Alvy introduces Rachel to a more natural way of life, teaching her about the benefits of nature and encouraging her to bond with their child in a more organic setting. The couple's relationship deepens during this time, as they reconnect with each other and the natural world. However, the looming threat of the womb center's retaliation hovers over them, maintaining the tension in the storyline. When the womb center remotely cuts off their access to the pod, Rachel and Alvy realize they are out of options. In a desperate move, they break open the pod using a screwdriver, manually delivering their baby. This scene is tense and emotional, as the couple grapples with the realization that they are finally severing their ties to the artificial world that had once dominated their lives. The birth of their son marks a return to the natural, reinforcing the film's overarching theme of reclaiming humanity from the grip of technology. The following morning, as Alvy sleeps with their newborn son, Rachel quietly packs up the broken pod and sends it back to the womb center. This moment symbolizes the couple's final break from the technological system that had promised convenience but instead brought doubt and fear into their lives. The cinematography during this scene is quiet and subdued, emphasizing the weight of the decision. Rachel's act of returning the pod marks the end of the artificial chapter of their journey and the beginning of a more natural, self-determined life. In a chilling mid-credits scene, the CEO of Pegasus is interviewed on television, where he makes cryptic statements about the future of the company's technology. He hints at a world where babies will be able to choose their parents, signaling Pegasus's intentions to further integrate AI into human life, perhaps even manipulating embryos to accelerate development. This scene adds a layer of dystopian unease to the film's conclusion, suggesting that the struggle between natural life and corporate-driven technology is far from over. The Pod Generation offers a biting critique of modern society's reliance on technology, particularly in areas as intimate and personal as childbirth. The movie deftly explores themes of control, commodification, and the tension between nature and artificiality. Rachel and Alvy's journey highlight the challenges of reconciling personal desires with societal pressures, while the womb center's cold efficiency serves as a stark reminder of the dangers of allowing corporate interests to dominate human life. The film's pacing is deliberate, allowing time for both character development and thematic exploration. Its minimalist dialogue and muted cinematography underscore the emotional distance created by a world governed by technology. Ultimately, The Pod Generation is a cautionary tale about the dehumanizing effects of technological advancement and the importance of preserving the natural rhythms of life. And that is it for this recap of the 2023 movie called Pod Generation. What do you think about the technology shown in the movie that creates baby through artificial eggs, and the possibility of AI taking control of such a possibility in the future? Let me know your thoughts in the comments, and I shall see you in the next video. Until then, this is your host for Movie Recap, signing off.